saying? We here. Of course, this is episode 56. Damn, we did 56 of them goddamn episodes, man. We are really outside, like I'm telling y'all. And the hair is out. I got the hair out because niggas really thinking that I'm on my bra shit, man. You know what I'm saying? You normally see me with the cap or the scarf or something around the top. But I gotta show the hairline today because niggas is not in that situation respectfully. You know what I'm saying? We thank the big homie for that. You understand? Of course, we got the aguas on deck because you always gotta stay hydrated. And you know what I'm saying? Of course, before we get started, just gotta show love to the people as always. You know what I'm saying? That's of course the supporters, all DSPs. You know what I'm saying? We just kicked off the YouTube channel. This is officially the third pod of the YouTube channel for the Love Podcast. That's LUV, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you see the hoodie. Shout out to Super Clothing. You know what I'm saying? Pack Super in the building. You know what I'm saying? The greatest talent in 757, by the way. You know what I mean? And of course, y'all can also cop the merch. That's for the Love merch at the same Super Clothing website, you know? So check that shit out. Go on that website, look at the merch, and also look at the other super content that's in that fucking site. Because the niggas, Pat Super is wilding out there, B. You know what I mean? But shout out to the hoodie, representing local clothing, you know what I mean? Y'all see the Made in Norfolk on the table, you know what I'm saying? We representing the ties all day. And I mean, I don't know what the fuck to tell y'all, man. We Virginia all day, man, you know? But a lot of shit to cover. You know, of course, like each and every week, we got a lot of bullshit and content to go through. You know what I mean? We're gonna keep it funky as always. And stay tuned, by the way, because I know recently y'all haven't seen me with guests, but we got the guests coming. So I just ask for y'all patience. It's always about patience. Sometimes that shit can get annoying, but greatness takes time, you understand? So nonetheless, man, the first thing, you know, that, you know, we want to cover, you know what I'm saying, is just these television shows, man. Like, these TV shows has been fucking popping. Like, I'm not really a big TV watcher, but, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to these, you know, the street shit, to keep it a buck, you know, like the BMFs and the Snowfalls and the Bel Airs and, you know, things of that sort. I'm loving it, man. I'm loving how the content is just coming at us every other moment. You know, one day you got this particular show, then the next day you got this, and then on the following day you got this. It's just like, it's no really day that you have a break, and it's all great content, so it's definitely amazing. The first thing, since that it capped off and it finalized, is the BMF series, you know what I'm saying? Definitely want to give a round of applause to 50 and, you know, Lil Meech. Dope season 2 was phenomenal, you know. Personally, Terry is definitely pussy whip, you know what I'm saying? And my main thing after watching the season finale of season 2 of BMF is the B Mickey character. I wonder how B Mickey, the real B Mickey, feels about that. Not the real B Mickey, but, you know, his name is D Meeks, for the people who don't know, but of course his character was portrayed by B Mickey on the show. I wonder how he feels about the ending of that, because on the show, of course, not only was he described as a snitch, but they kind of ended B Mickey as far as him and BMF being done. So I wonder how he just felt about that, you know what I'm saying? But again, overall, speaking on the show, I think it was very dope to see DC Young Fly blick up Terry and Markeisha at the end. Was kind of wild, because it's like, damn, how many times we're gonna see Terry get shot the fuck up? You know what I'm saying? In the beginning of the first season, we saw him get shot, and that's how he had his eye injury. And at the end of season 2, he ended up getting shot again at this point, where he finally became, you know, the king of Detroit, in quote, and BMF was already solidified. So that was just my thoughts on that. Of course, you know, Charles was the main villain of the show outside of Lamar, because Lamar was on demon time. up until the point where, even with Lamar, I wonder how the real Lamar felt about that, because at the end, and this is a spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it yet at this point, you know what I'm saying, I don't give a fuck, but, you know what I mean, they made Lamar like a crackhead, you know, so that's, I guess, how Meech felt to neutralize that situation with Lamar, even though, in my opinion, after you come and attempt to threaten my moms and you kill my baby moms and you do all this torture and harm in the block, you gotta go, bro. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, you gotta get blicked up. But apparently Meech didn't go that route. He gave him the drug, and now he's plucked out in the streets. So that's kind of wild to me. But, and then, of course, the Charles nigga, not the Pops, but, because the Pops, he was just the worst. But the officer nigga, that nigga gotta go, because I'm glad he got his just due. It was only a matter of time, because you can't do all this fucking torture with no consequence and no pushback. So it just, like I said in the beginning, it takes greatness, and greatness takes time. And damn, his time came, because it's crazy how you were so hell-bent on getting these motherfucking drug dealers off the street that at the end of the day, you set your son up. You know what I'm saying? And allow your son to get a murder weapon and use that weapon to shoot and kill a bully that, in my mind, it was coming, because the motherfucker kept pushing the motherfucker, and once you keep pushing somebody, you're going to push them to the edge to where you potentially going to kill that motherfucker. And the only thing with that I'm still trying to understand is how the fuck you get the safe code to get the gun, you know what I'm saying? But to each his own, you know what I'm saying? But phenomenal season, and that's BMF. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, that leads to Power Book 2, because I want to transition to that show, because how Stars and 50 did it was, at the end of BMF, they transitioned the viewers and audience to the season premiere of Power Book 2. This is season 3. And of course, for the people who don't know about Power Book 2, this is in relations to the Power series, and this is focusing on Tariq St. Patrick. And this all felt on St. Patrick's Day, which was March 17th. And as far as episode 1 for season 3, it was definitely a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? Just to see people, see the Tejadas, see Tariq, you know what I'm saying, see Braden. And the very first thought, and I mean the very first thought, as soon as the episode started playing, was, damn, I ain't know Tariq had beef with Wakanda. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit was kind of wild to me. Like, I'm fucking with the whole inclusion of that, because I guess she's the new plug, you know what I'm saying? And her character is like, not Monet, but it's like something with an M. I'm fucking up, but like, her character was very Wakanda-ish. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, I ain't think, like, I thought they had beef with Namor and them motherfuckers, not Tariq in New York and them niggas. So that shit was crazy. And then just to see, you know, the Tejada nigga that killed Zeke trying to hide that shit. I wonder how long he gonna go with that. And then at the end, at this point, again, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, Lauren's not dead. She's still alive. But at this point, she's tired of fucking hiding the fact, you know what I'm saying? So it's only a matter of time till I feel like Lauren's gonna expose some shit, and then shit gonna go way left, because you got Braden lying to Kane about that shit. Effie, who I think is on some personal agenda shit, she can either be the CI, niggas are saying Sax, but I really think it's Effie. But either way, Effie has her own personal agenda, so you gotta beware of that, you know what I mean? And Tariq, he's still being Tariq, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, we need to get Tariq a fucking car, bro. Like, he's doing all this hustling, like he just met, like, in quote, the biggest plug of plugs, and now he's about to push all this weight with him, Braden, and Kane, and Effie. So if he's able to do that, why the fuck he can't get a car, bro? This nigga got Louis Vuitton on, Versace and all this shit, but he don't got no whip. I mean, I'm just trying to understand, dog. I'm just trying to get it. But again, Power's the shit. I'm fucking with it. Again, we only on episode 1. So going forward and going throughout the season, I'm pretty sure the justice regarding who killed, not really who killed Zeke, because we know who killed Zeke, but just watching Monet go through that shit and eventually get to the point where she finds out. And when I think she finds out, then there's gonna be some hell to pay, and between her or one of them family members gonna have to get rid of the Tejada nigga. Even if he's pops, you killed this nigga, man, so you gotta go. It's just, some wild shit, but dope ass show. They already on to a great start in Power terms, because Power is about like 8 storylines in one episode, and then they gonna all collide that shit into one big ass story, and then that shit gonna end crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's my early predictions. And with the Power book, because we not done. I'm talking about, mad fucking content, bro. I don't even watch TV like that, but like to see all this shit be on a television and to have me intrigued and sit the fuck down and just watch that shit is amazing in itself. You understand? So, of course, we had the BMF, and which led to the Power Book 2, both under the Stars Network premium channel. You know what I'm saying? Outside Stars, and more so getting into the drama side, because it's all drama, but it's less street related. But Bel-Air is another show that is just a phenomenal piece of work. To me, Bel-Air is one of the few shows that incorporates and goes with the old, but yet keep it new and keep it fresh as far as what they're doing with this. Like, they're not trying to stay with the nostalgic feeling of the old Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They're doing their own blend, which is like very rare, because nowadays you getting part 2s and sequels of all this shit, and they just making it whack. You know what I'm saying? Like House Party, LeBron version was trash. You feel me? So at the end of the day, Bel-Air is dope. The last episode was fire, just to see Carton just come out and just beat the shit out that homeboy, because the homeboy, the light-skinned nigga, hate to call him the light-skinned motherfucker, but the beige-looking nigga, he had to get his ass whooped, bro. He kept coming at this motherfucker, and speaking generally, when a nigga keep coming at you and keep poking the fucking bear, the bear gonna fucking growl, you know what I'm saying? And then once the bear growls, that ain't the point to then try to tell the bear to calm the fuck down. Nah, nigga, you gotta get your ass whooped. So I like that part, you know what I'm saying? And to keep it short with Bel-Air, it's just they doing a great job with the show. They're not doing too much of the old and doing just enough of blending the old, but keeping it fresh with the new. Like how Ashley, the old Ashley was the teacher talking to the young Ashley. That was fire, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Bel-Air. For people that's on Peacock, you know what I'm saying? Check that shit out. And then one of my favorites, my personal favorites, because we are music heads over here on this side, is the Wu-Tang series, season 3. That's on Hulu. And I can tell from this season what they're doing is pretty much showcasing the creative direction of not only Wu-Tang, but each artist that incorporates the Wu-Tang Clan. So far you got visuals and perspectives of Old Dirty, you got Deck, you got Devon episode, and the most recent one is Jizza, you know what I'm saying, with the Liquid Swords. And of course you got the You Gods and the other artists, and just seeing how the brand in itself, the Wu-Tang brand, is being built, and how RZA is doing each episode to incorporate each artist, and how they got to the point of creating what we know today to be these classics, to me is Emmy worthy. That shit is like award like touching, you know what I'm saying? Like this show should win Emmys. Like the visuals is insane, like how they are doing it and how they doing it for each artist is fire. The only episode that I feel like we may not get is like Meth, because like Meth was already like, he was out there, like he was very simple as far as his direction. Like he was a star, and he was a hate to say set symbol, but he was that attractive, so he didn't really have that difficulty of like finding who he was, because he had the Mary record, and then before that he had the Method Man record on the first album. So at this point he blew the fuck up. But to see the You Gods again, even the Devon episode where you got the business aspect of one motherfucking handling 8+ motherfucking people, is already insane in itself. But then you see the other hand of the group kind of seeing the same person trying to deal with 8 entities, but then they feel in themselves that they're losing their guy. So that was just dope perspective, and shout out to RZA because those episodes are definitely dope visuals, and for music creative or just a creative period, I think that shit is like one of one as far as like television, you know what I'm saying? And that's the type of shit I fuck with. And again, that shit is on Hulu for the people that's not watching. Definitely check that shit out. Even if you're a music fan, period, especially if you engraved into hip hop, that's some shit I feel like you should watch, because it's like the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Woo is for the children. You heard Old Dirty. You understand? So that's the shit. And I want to make sure I'm not bugging, because that's all the shows before I get to the main piece. And I wanted to save it for last because this is my personal fucking favorite. This show is up there with The Wire, fucking Breaking Bad, and Sopranos when it's all said and done, in my humble opinion. And it's very bittersweet because this is the last season of it, but it is absolutely the best season that I've seen to date, and that is fucking Snowfall. Snowfall is fucking wildin'. Like, I really think they're doing John Singleton justice with this show after his passing, and that's rest in peace to the God. But I feel like the creators and the directors are doing a hell of a job in continuing that legacy and definitely concluding the show to what it's supposed to be, rather than dragging it and making 2 more seasons and letting the viewers get to a point where it's like redundant, you know what I'm saying? But going back to season 6, I'm just definitely trying to keep it patient, because the moment that it's all over is going to be a sad moment, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just trying to see how it's going to conclude, you know, because Franklin Saint is on villain time. He's on demon time. He don't give a fuck. He told Teddy, I'm going to kill this nigga. If you don't give me my money, shit is going to happen to your family tree. And at the end of the day, when that man did not want to route his money back, he said wrong answer and started going in. It is over for these niggas. And personally, I really think that Jerome time is up. You know what I'm saying? I hope I'm wrong, but the way I see Jerome's character is bubbling at this point. He's definitely reached his breaking point. You know what I'm saying? He don't want to do this shit no more as far as the game. He's trying to tell Louis that he's pretty much damn near out the shit, and he just want to go back to the regular life. He don't even give a fuck about the money and all that shit. So he's starting to realize the bullshit and the shit that's coming with what they're doing, and the fact that he really don't want to go to war at all, and especially with his own fucking family, because he's beefing with his nephew, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure Franklin feels the same fucking way, but Franklin is on principle that he's trying to get more, not just the throne, but his fucking money back, you know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely interested in that shit. Leon's character, I'm trying to understand that as well, because he did the whole Africa push, you know what I'm saying? He did the whole Nas from Belly move, succeeded that, got married to his wife, which is Wanda, just to go back to the projects and pretty much reclaim his throne in the projects. It was kind of like backwards as hell. It wasn't even kind of backwards. It was super backwards. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he beat the shit out of Big Dion, and he's the nigga in the PJs. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much he's back in the game. He picked a side. He really didn't pick a side because Jerome kind of made him pick that side once he came to them and tried to make a treaty or whatever, and he told him leave. So at that point, in my opinion, he told him to pretty much go to Franklin's side and leave us alone. And now that I see Jerome is kind of regretting all this dumbass shit, to me it's too late. And that's normally the case when you watch TV, and especially when they start profiling the character, when they start breaking down their life story and shit like that, and like where they come from and how they start talking about that shit, that's usually when it's time for that nigga to go. You know what I'm saying? Or you know some shit about to go down. So this next episode, which normally premieres on Wednesdays, is going to be the turning point of the season. In my opinion, this is the episode that you really don't want to miss, because this is where you're going to see shit goes really down. and it's going to be the turning point for the whole season. And I'm just waiting on how the fuck they gonna conclude this shit, because shit is crazy, man. And I'm being patient, and it's bittersweet because, again, like I said, once it ends, I will accept the fact that they ended it on a great note rather than prolonging the shit, in which, like, Power series, the original Power, I felt like they could have definitely ended that series a little shorter. But with Snowfall, I think they're doing it at the right time in the right place rather than keep going. They ended it from there. And listen, man, like, that nigga Saint ain't fucking playing. Teddy should have gave him his fucking money, man. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. And you killed this Pops. You know what I'm saying? You killed this Pops. Like, niggas was like, oh shit, I can't believe he did that or whatever. And if you don't believe me, I heard that shit. I seen it in the comments. But if you kill my Pops, your Pops gotta go. You feel me? And it's just what it is. So definitely check all them TV shows out. You know what I'm saying? All that shit that I spoke of is great content. There's plenty more other shows that's out there, I'm sure. Los, that at the end of the day, I do not watch all that shit. Those are my go-to shows besides other the podcasts that's out there. You get what I'm saying? But in regards to TV shows, because ending it with Snowfall, and you got your homeboy Damian Idris, who plays Franklin Saint, you know what I'm saying? I see this movie, and soon as I turn the shit on and press play, the first thing I'm seeing is the same actor, Damian Idris, clapping Chloe Bailey's cheeks, man. And that's been the talk of the town for the past week. Niggas been talking about that shit forever. At the end of the day, niggas is horny because all they talk about is sex, and they just talk about her being bent and getting, fucked sexually in the scene by Franklin. The funniest shit I seen all week was them niggas saying that they thought it was a new episode of Snowfall. I thought that shit was hilarious. But at the end of the day, no, ladies and gentlemen, this is not Snowfall. This TV show is called Swarm, and it's actually created and directed by Childish Gambino, aka Donald Glover. You get what I'm saying? Also the creator of Atlanta. So once I saw that, I kind of got a perspective of how this movie was going to go, as far as the, like, not just the direction, but the visuals of it, because it was very similar to Atlanta and kind of similar to, like, Insecure as well, as far as, like, the sarcasm and shit like that. In my humble opinion, you know what I'm saying, I seen a lot of people speak highly of it. I saw a few people speak low of it as far as, like, their thoughts on it. Me, personally, I didn't really enjoy it. It wasn't necessarily trash, because it goes back to the visuals. I like the visuals and how the content was, but the whole piece was just too disturbing, like, you know what I'm saying? And I guess that was the point, but for me, that shit was just, like, odd. It was too odd. It was no, like, resolution that there was supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? It was just too much of the same shit, which was her killing motherfuckers, and not even just her killing motherfuckers, but throughout the whole series, because it really wasn't a movie. And if I said that in the beginning, I was definitely wrong. It was actually a series, because it had 7 to 8 episodes, you know what I'm saying? And it's on Netflix for the people who didn't watch it. But it's regarding a chick who is a loyal fan to this artist who's supposed to be trans, Beyonce, and she begins to go on a serial killing binge off the fandom of this particular artist. So anytime you talk bad of this person, she's gonna murk your ass. So it wasn't even just that was throwing me off, but it was like the fact that she damn near got her way with any fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? So that shit, it was just bugged out. But shout out to Donald Glover, and shout out to the actresses in there. I definitely saw Billie Eilish in the movie or in the show, and I'm fucking up because I don't know the actress that played the main character, but she did a hell of a job in acting and killing that role. So in that regard, it was definitely dope, but the material and the content, it was just too weirded out for me. So it just got a little annoying. I had to shut that bitch off, you know what I'm saying? But check that shit out. Again, it's called Swarm, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? It's just bro, if that's not content for you, bro, I don't know what the fuck is, man. And cause like that was, you know, all the TV shows / movies. Again, I don't really watch a lot of other movies. You know what I'm saying? John Wick, for instance, John Wick 4 is coming out this Friday on March 24th. You get what I'm saying? With that being said, I want to definitely say rest in peace to Louis Riddick, the great Louis Riddick. You know what I'm saying? At the age of 60, he passed away. And the cause is unknown at this point, but he is a legend. For the people who don't know, he is on the John Wick series, so he will be on the new installment, I'm sure. He was a part of The Wire, Oz, The Corner, you know what I'm saying, that set the tone for The Wire, and many more movies that I'm not thinking off the top of my head. But rest in peace to the legend at the age of 60, you know what I'm saying? Definitely check that shit out, because John Wick, regardless, is gonna fuck about 50 niggas up, you know what I'm saying? So that's already in itself dope content, and that's just coming off of Creed 3, which was like the last dope content movie, and of course Cocaine Bear, which was the shit, you know what I'm saying? To me, that's movie of the year, because who don't want to see a fucking grizzly bear on coke? You know what I'm saying? But John Wick 4, March 24th. That shit is definitely coming out. Can't wait for that shit to drop, because we on that. And that's about it in regards to TV. Because to keep it a buck, that was about we already like on close to 30 minutes of television content, and niggas don't even watch TV like that. You understand? That was just, again, the shows that I fuck with. So shout out to the other shows that's out there, but let's see where we at, man, because so far we just did the shows and, you know, the movies and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And outside of that, you know what I'm saying, we can get into sports, because y'all already know I'm a sports guy, man, you know what I'm saying? This is definitely not ESPN sponsored, you know what I'm saying? But the God talk about the sports, you know what I'm saying? Y'all see the Tides fitted in there, representing the Norfolk Tides, you know what I'm saying? And recently they had the WBC final, and that's the World Baseball Classic, which is like the international tournament and worldly competition for baseball, you know what I'm saying? They had the Japan team versus the USA team, surprisingly, in the finals. And I say surprisingly because I was shitting on the American team, to be honest. I ain't even gonna lie. In the beginning, I'm thinking like USA ain't gonna make it to the semifinals type shit. Like, but they definitely surprised not only me and my black ass, but probably majority of the world that thought the same shit that I was thinking. And they made it to the finals. They lost 3-2 against the Japanese team. At the end of the day, Otani is the fucking shit. He struck out his own teammate, Mike Trout, and that's just going to set the tone for the season. So that was definitely what I was watching recently, you know what I'm saying? And, of course, more importantly, not saying that's not important, but when we talking about sports, you know what I'm saying, we in the month of March, so that only means March Madness. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Future, because you made a classic with that too. But March Madness means the NCAA tournament. You understand? And on the women's side, to keep it short, no disrespect, but we all should know that at the end of the day, when it comes to the women's side, we're going to get some competition, but the South Carolina team is going to win the national championship. Shout out to Don Staley, and she is the GOAT. And at this point, she's in dynasty mode, because shit is not a game, and niggas is going to win it all. And shout out to the Norfolk State women team, because when I saw the drawing for them on the women's side, I was like, bet the Norfolk State made the motherfucking NCAA tournament. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking lit. We about to try to make a stance. Not saying we gonna win it all, but we made that bitch. So once we made it, we gonna try to do something. And then the first drawing I saw was fucking South Carolina. And I said, well, you know what I'm saying? That was a hell of a season. You know what I mean? But again, Shout out to Norfolk State and shout out to all the HBCUs that's out there as far as just education and also athletics. You know what I'm saying? Because that was just dope to see HBCU be represented in general. You get me? But on the men's side, it's just been some wild shit, bro. I mean, of course we understand that it's March Madness and anything can happen, but we talking about 16 seeds beating number 1 seeds. You know what I'm saying? Purdue being the number 1 seed this particular year got knocked by a 16 seed. You know what I'm saying? And for the past 3 tournaments, to keep it in perspective, Purdue has lost to a team that was at least 14 seed and higher. Like, imagine that. In the last 3 tournaments, they lost to teams no later than the second round, if not the first round, by a motherfucker that was elite, no smaller than a 14 seed. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely screaming overrated, you know. And of course, my Duke boys got eliminated by Tennessee prior to the Sweet 16. It's okay because I didn't expect us to make it to the championship, but we, you know, could have did something, but it's okay. You know what I mean? And at this point, because all these upsets is happening and shit like that, I don't know who the fuck is the favorite to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be a motherfucking 10th seed this year. Like, that would be crazy. I don't even know if that would be the first, but it can be that. And then, you know what I mean? And I just know it ain't no perfect brackets. Everything is fucked up. And you might as well just enjoy the fucking competition and sit back and watch it. Because it may not even be Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga's getting knocked. Everybody's picking Alabama because they was the overall number 1 seed. But at this point, you never fucking know, man. Because niggas might get knocked too. It's going to be like a 9th seed playing a 12th seed or some shit. Or a 5th seed playing a 7th seed for the championship. So either way, it's going to be a team that you did not expect unless that's your favorite team or you just motherfucking Nostradamus or, you know what I mean? You just know what the fuck going on in the future. But definitely waiting to continue to check out that tournament just to see a winner. Like, off the top of my head, I'm going to just pick UConn to win that bitch because, like, it's just all the number 1 seeds this year has been trash. You know what I'm saying? They getting knocked. And it's kind of hilarious because it's like y'all been number 1 this whole time, but when it really matters, y'all at the crib, man. So, you know what I'm saying? But again, that's the NCAA tournament. Anything with sports, you know, of course, is really nothing. Of course, you got the NBA season. You know what I'm saying? John Morant is back. You know what I'm saying? Like cook crack. You know what I mean? And I just hope cuz stop thugging, you know what I'm saying? Because there's nothing to thug about when you a $200 million man. And I say that respectfully because I hate pocket watching. But my nigga, you got the Supermax. And you a franchise player. Fuck all this other shit. You understand? But keeping it pushing, man, you know, we probably going to wait for a moment to get into 757 Sounds. You know, like I said, y'all see the clothing on me, man. This is SUUPA, Super Clothing. Cop that shit, you know what I'm saying? We wearing local clothing all the time. Shout out to Made in Norfolk. Shout out to, you know what I'm saying, all the other content that's out there and all the other local content creators, man, because this is for the love, man. This is what this shit is about, you know. But keeping it funky and keeping it on the lineup, you know what I'm saying, because we want to keep it going for y'all to listen, you know what I'm saying. But recently, and I mean like no more than 48 hours ago, if not 24 hours ago, matter of fact, because it was that recent, you know what I'm saying, we got Rainbow Boy, you know, got his ass beat in the LA Fitness Gym. I'm going to repeat that. Rainbow Boy, a.k.a. 9'6", you know what I'm saying, backwards, got his ass beat at an LA Fitness. On top of that, not only did he get his ass beat, but the nigga had on a Montclair bubble coat and some motherfucking swimming trunks on him. So I'm assuming that when they beat his ass, they took his pants off, you know what I'm saying, for whatever reason, and just started to proceed and beating the shit out of this dude, you know what I mean? And finally he got his shit caught up, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm seeing people for some reason saying regardless of what he did, it was evil to record that. But at the end of the day, bro, when you snitch and you try to downplay it like you didn't do what you did and the impact you did, you got to get your ass beat. And more so, not even just having to get your ass beat, but if a motherfucker was to take that time and energy to whoop your ass, then you just got to be that. So, you know what I mean? And regardless if they're going to jail or not, I really don't think they give a fuck, because if they did, I don't think they would have did that shit. And lastly, in that regard, because nowadays with social media and the internet, motherfuckers always want to talk about shit being staged and shit being skits, and for the most part that be true, but this shit won't stage, bro. And if it was, then that nigga needs to get his ass beat again, because that's just some weird shit. But to me, I don't think that shit was staged. That shit was real life. I don't think you should want or be able to stage that type of ass whooping. Like, the niggas was literally stomping this dude out, like stomping a mud hole like Stone Cold, and his whole face was fucked up and gashed. So if that's a skit or a setup, then that's a wild, weirdo ass setup. You know what I'm saying? But to each his own, because nowadays that clout is a hell of a drug. You feel me? So, like, I really think he got his ass beat. I really think in that moment he found some niggas that really wasn't playing that shit, and that was their time of being around this nigga, so they felt the need to whoop his ass. You know what I'm saying? And it's not really nothing that I would say that I would per se celebrate, because it has nothing to do with me, but at the same time, you can't be surprised when you bark all this energy and the motherfucker just with it, you know what I'm saying? And he finally got his shit. So, you know, but that was, you know, that again, Rainbow Boy is Rainbow Boy. So that's just that. And we can actually, you know what I'm saying, get into 757 sounds at this point, so because we're gonna take a little break, but and typically with the pod, before I check out, what I want to do is, again, I want to thank y'all, man, for listening. You know what I'm saying? This is episode 56. I want to repeat the fact that the merch, the For the Love merch, is available on Super Clothing website. You know what I'm saying? Get the black tee. We got t-shirts, because it's definitely getting warm out there, you know. And last but not least, we got something in the water that's coming for y'all, man. Something in the water is coming back home. You know what I'm saying? I want to speak on the lineup, because the lineup to me is very dope. It may not mirror the first annual festival or the second one, because I didn't go to the second one in DC, but more so the first one back home, which was the classic one where he brought Hove out and all of that. The lineup for this year is definitely on the dope end. Me personally, I'm good with the fact that the Clips is back home and SWV is there. Them two artists alone single-handedly makes that lineup fine for me. I understand at the same time that is a very subjective subject in regards to the lineup, because it depends on the person and who they gravitate to and who they fuck with. You know what I'm saying? I heard some people say they only know 5 people from the list, and I heard people like myself that kind of knew most of the artists and that was fucking with it. And at the end of the day, for me, I think besides the lineup, the festival in itself coming back home is enough for me. You know what I'm saying? That week of the first festival, when the first day rained out on Friday, and we got a refund for that, and still had a hell of a time for them 2 days on Saturday and Sunday, was impeccable, man. Like, I just want people to enjoy that shit and just like be safe out there, man, because this is like hella opportunities and network moves, you know what I'm saying? And the lineup, again, just to see the Clips back home in itself is enough. Because like when I seen them do that shit in DC, that shit was so bittersweet that they did a reunion, but it won't at the crib. So now that they at the crib and they get to bring that shit and that feeling back home, and imagine when they play Grinding on the fucking beach And not even just grinding because that's the go-to record, but like, Ma Don't Love Her, you know what I'm saying? Or Virginia. Like the whole fucking Mr. Me Too and Pharrell comes out before. Bro, are you kidding me? Like, bro, that enough is telling. And then with me personally, because a lot of people don't believe it, but I'm, a very R&B cat. So like SWV coming out in itself and performing, right here. And my favorite R&B record, one of my favorite R&B records, because my favorite is 4-Page Letter, but my other favorite being Use Your Heart. They perform that shit at the fucking beach. Come on, bro. That shit would make me look at the sky and just fucking like daydream. You understand? So that shit in itself is just dope. And more importantly, I think the lineup is overall a dope overall lineup because it incorporates all genres and all demographics that's going to be on that fucking crowd. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got your alternative folks, you got your rock folks, you got your hip hop folks, of course, you got your R&B folks. You got all these genres and categories that the lineup consists of that regardless of what you fuck with and what you gravitate to, I don't think you can miss that. You know what I'm saying? And just the vibe alone and bringing that shit back to the beach and just that scenery in itself, the networking, the talent, the people, the love in itself, to me, makes that festival a fire fucking festival. You get what I'm saying? And that shit is less than $200. You know what I'm saying? For the retail price, not the reseller price. Any niggas that selling that shit for $3+, that's just they trying to get a profit. You understand? And if you cop that shit at this point, then just enjoy yourself. So, but you know what I'm saying? And again, shout out to Pharrell because based off the circumstances and how niggas think about it, he brung that shit back to the crib, you know what I'm saying? And I say God bless to him and his loved ones and his family due to the situation with his cousin, because I can understand personally him probably not feeling the want to bring that shit back. But he did it for the love, you know what I'm saying? All pun intended, for the people of Virginia. And regardless of what you think of Pharrell, he brought that shit back to the crib and he about to do some crib shit on top of that. Like the clips, man, like the only thing he'll probably need to do is bring out Khalees. You know what I'm saying? They probably don't fuck with each other, but that'll probably be the only thing that'll be crazy. Or like, you know what I'm saying? Imagine if he really brought out NERD and did a set on that. Man, bro, come on, man. April 28th, pull up, oceanfront. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, be safe. You know what I mean? And more importantly, just suspect the vibes, man. Like, and if you are in the crowd and y'all jamming, definitely be aware of the people that's beside y'all, because I understand motherfuckers can turn up, but that shit can be a very triggering thing. And if you have anxiety, I pray for you because that shit can get mad crowded. You know what I mean? But man, listen, man, I'm just thinking about that shit. I just, I want more for the 757. You know what I'm saying? I understand and respect people that had their feelings towards it and what they think about the lineup, because that's just how you feel. But at the end of the day, I want people to celebrate what is being brought to us. This is a pure blessing because, of course, we can always go to the Rolling Louds and the Made in Americas and the Coachellas and shit like that. But let's put that energy and focus on the shit that's at the crib and home first. The fact that we have a full festival, and I ain't talking about no B-list or some, some side festival. This is a major, main festival that's invested by a VA native in Pharrell Williams. So we actually have something that we can say that is our shit. That's why the second annual festival, when it happened in DC, was a bittersweet moment, because speaking for myself, it was hard just to be out there and not feel like this shit was supposed to be back home. You know what I'm saying? When the festival is called something in the water. As far as DC is concerned, and shout out to my DC niggas, ain't nothing around the fucking water if there is any fucking water. You get what I'm saying? So the fact that it's back home only restores the feeling. And when you hear these home acts and non-home acts, you know what I'm saying? Because off the top, I know they bringing Dirt. They got Of course, like I said, SWV. You know, they got, Matt, they got Coil Ray, they got a lot of motherfucking people. They got Skrillex, you know what I'm saying? Mumford & Sons. It's just like, bro, he's incorporating all genres. So it's just a dope thing. And also take advantage of the networking, you know what I'm saying? The other platforms, you know what I'm saying? Don't be surprised if you see For the Love pod in that area just floating around, because we ain't fucking playing. And Pharrell Williams need to understand that VA, especially the 757, still has the most underrated talent, and it is what it is. You get what I'm saying? And we outside. You know what I'm saying? And what's best than knowing you can go to a festival that's 10, 15 miles from the crib, if not 20, 25 miles, and you don't even have to get a hotel or a room unless you just want to be close for comfort, which I can respect. But if you about saving money and not spending unnecessary bread, then you can just go back and forth from the crib to the festival, man. It's just like, bro, why the fuck not? You know? But where we at, man? Because we actually damn near at a quarter hour mark, man. You know what I'm saying? We hit that, hit that mark, and I know I done said a lot of shit. But again, just want y'all niggas to know we here, and we would never not be here. And last but not least, you know what I'm saying? Of course, again and always again and again, I want to thank the people, man. I want to just thank y'all for listening as always. You know what I'm saying? Got to show my humility in that. Humility. You know what I'm saying? But more importantly, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? Get the numbers up on that. Y'all ask for the visuals, they out there. And if you don't, it's okay, man, because For the Love is about progression and prosperity. You know what I'm saying? Just wanted to say a word that started with a P. You know what I mean? And we about just showing love and sending roses to the talent in this area, and of course the culture. Because if not the culture, then what we got? You know what I mean? But again, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? Follow the SoundCloud page, follow the Spotify page, and follow For the Love on motherfucking Apple Podcasts. We still coming at y'all next. Like I said, beware, stay tuned, because we got hella guests coming for y'all this year. You know what I'm saying? We definitely still in March. So just sit back. You know what I'm saying? If you smoke, roll a blunt. If you drink, pour a cup. You know what I'm saying? Either way, enjoy your company, man. And mind your fucking business. And more importantly, shut the fuck up. Like, niggas just be talking. All niggas do these days is overshare shit. You know what I'm saying? It's very attention seeking and it's very weirdo-ish. Like, sometimes just keep it to yourself. I want y'all to understand that. Keep it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? And if you gotta overshare, then try to get profit from that shit. Write a book. You know what I'm saying? A book is technically oversharing, but that's you can be the number one author of some shit. You understand? And wash your ass, man. Cause not washing your ass is just like inhumane. To me, that's just like motherfucking that's just like demon behavior. You know what I'm saying? I don't get why you don't want to wash your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, soap and water is the greatest feeling ever, next to pussy. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully, you know what I mean? But on that note, man, because definitely about to check out. I'm done talking to y'all niggas, to keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Again, follow the YouTube page and cop some merch, man. You know what I'm saying? We got the t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? We got the hoodies on deck. And that's under the Super Clothing website. That's SUUPA. Y'all see the hoodie, man. This is a 101, but y'all can actually cop this if y'all want to. Hit me up. You know what I'm saying? I may tell this nigga we're gonna put like a discount code or some shit, and just to get y'all niggas to follow through, man. You know what I'm saying? And more importantly, on that note, you know what I'm saying? This is episode 5-6. It's your boy Los. Of course, this is For the Love, man. And God bless.